Get this Kiza tune. Dial *811 *717 hash.
Johnny Kubaya, Johnny Kubaya, Johnny Kubaya, Johnny Kubaya.
Yaje wase manze. Do this Saturday on Team Republic Nikubaya. We'll be having Brida, who has a brand new song featuring Calligraph Jones. And if you can remember, last Saturday we had Calligraph going head to head against Otto Pizzo. This week we are taking you to West Africa. Who's the real king of Afrobeat? We'll be having Burna Boy going against Wizkid. Vote for your favorite king of Afrobeat.
Fully loaded Jay kosa content delivery noma misari nafikisha doorstep tuko tuma moshi kati kofia rocket.
See you this Saturday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Team Republic, anything dope happens.
Rora show. Kani besha de na show. Rora show.
Finding the truth in these uncertain times has become certain. Possibilities for business even more convenient with the Nation e-paper. To enjoy this and more, simply dial *550*1# for Daily Nation and *550*5# for Business Daily on your mobile phone and get 50% discount on the e-paper. Yes, for just 20 shillings each, the truth will find you and more possibilities right where you are. Dial *550*1# for Daily Nation and *550*5# for Business Daily today. Terms and conditions apply.
This week on Churchill Show.
Unajua last year niligraduate mechanical. Hii nyumba ipendi jokes. Yeah. You have to be serious.
We move from the streets to the mechanical engineering workshop.
Kuzi nimekuwa mjinga, anko acha nikwambie. I was very bright. First show nimeingia stage. So kulikuwa na basiliki nilikuwa nimekaa hapa mbele wakashikapua.
Naenda ni Churchill ametuletea kitu gani?
Your dad is fun such a cartoon. Ni comedian. Comedian ni venye ajuangi.
This is the amazing story of MCA Rick.
Geuke kitu kiambie. Siriki sana.
This is NTV.
Live at One, this is NTV, and my name is Ken Mijungu with a quick news update for you. And let's begin in Nyeri, where the government is rehabilitating the 240 kilometers Nairobi-Nanyuki railway line in a bid to improve the economy of Central Region and accomplish promises of development by boosting transportation. Now, today, the Kenya Railway is conducting a test run on the cargo train from Nanyuki to Chaka, led by the Kenya Railway Managing Director and leaders from that region. And NTV's Melita Oletenges is with them, and he now joins us live with an update. Melita, what exactly is the government intending to achieve with the rehabilitation of this railway line?
Well, Ken, the government is actually intending to ensure that there is a spur of economic growth in a central region at large. The rehabilitation of the Nairobi-Nanyuki railway line has been going on for the last 3 months, a project that has been spearheaded by the president himself. He has visited this particular region to inspect this project. And of course, this is in line with what the government is actually, some of the projects the government is intending to boost in central region. Remember, agriculture is among the region's most considered economic activity, and of course the government is looking to improve transportation as a means of ensuring that agricultural produce is ferried directly from central region to the Mombasa port. And also, Ken, since the rehabilitation has been going on for 3 months right at the moment, the Kenya Railways Corporation has already injected 1 billion shillings into this project, which is expected by the end to cost the government about 3 billion shillings. And today, the Kenya Railways Corporation is actually expected to do a test run of cargo trains that have already been ferried here from Nairobi. Actually, they have started in Nanyuki, coming backwards to Chaka, and thereafter move to Karatina and going backwards. So, Ken, the project so far is actually undergoing a clearance of the railway line. We've seen youth from the National Youth Service in conjunction with the Railways Corporation doing this for the last 3 months. And of course, since the Cabinet Secretary for Infrastructure, James Macharia, visited the region recently, said that the project is in its last stages and will soon be opened by the President Uhuru Kenyatta himself. So today the main activity is the test run of the cargo train, but the end result, Ken, of course, is to spur economic growth in this region and bring back the vibrancy that was in the old days when this railway used to function and has remained dormant now for over a decade. So we are keeping tabs on this story, but of course we'll be letting our viewers know everything that unfolds from this part of the country. But for now, over to you in studio.
Very interesting indeed, Melita Letenges. Let's see how it unfolds and what the government does in the coming days, and if actually they'll achieve what they want with the rehabilitated railway line. Moving away from that, from Nyeri to the coast now, and many of the aged in Kilifi County often have no one to look after them in their sunset years. A life of solitude is their daily reality and are unable to cater for their daily needs. NTV's Coast regional reporter Kevin Mutai filed a story of 59-year-old Amina Rama, who was sick for about 8 years and whose fragile life was in the hands of her teenage granddaughter who cared for her. Kevin now joins us from Mombasa with some sad news. Kevin, this woman was abandoned even by her very own close family members. What's the latest from that area?
Well, Ken, indeed, it is a very sad story because we just received reports that Amina Rama has just passed on while receiving treatment at Kilifi Referral Hospital. She had been admitted at the facility, Ken, after we aired her story. It's a concern that perhaps even residents living around her raised an issue because she has been bedridden for 8 years and under the care of her 17-year-old grandson. So we just got information that Amina Rama has just passed on. But again, we are yet to confirm what she was ailing from, because we understand that right now the family and close relatives are currently at the facility trying to get her body for burial, because I understand this has to be conducted according to the Muslim the Muslim way, and of course it is something that we are not far from that particular area, but we will be talking to family members and of course try also talk to the doctors and inform us to what she was suffering from, because when we met her 2 weeks ago when we did the story, Ken, we found her very weak and emaciated, and she told us that she has been in that situation for 8 years, claiming that she had been abandoned by her close family members. And of course it was a touching story, and after we aired that story, Ken, what came up after was well-wishers, Kenyans from different walks of life visited her, gave her the kind of help that she wanted, even paid for her medical bills. They had to admit her the following day after Kenyans watched the story that we did, and what we can confirm is that she succumbed while receiving treatment at the Kilifi Referral Hospital. But of course, I also understand that their family members who are currently gathered at where she used to live in Maweni village, not far from where we are. Amina had been living with her 5 grandchildren, the eldest being 17 years old, who has been taking care of her grandmother. So it is definitely a sad story that will be getting more details to unravel what caused her death, and of course we'll be updating our viewers concerning the entire situation from this area. Back to you, Ken.
Well, Kevin, indeed that story touched many people's hearts, and it's quite unfortunate that we lost her, but May her soul rest in peace. Kevin Mutai reporting live from Mombasa on the case of that old woman who we now understand has passed on. Moving away from that, Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha says he will petition the Cabinet to have a blanket ban on pornographic sites in the country, attributing the vice to the rise in early pregnancies and moral decadence among children and the youth. Now, this move has been prompted by reports of rising cases of teen pregnancies among underage children since schools were closed due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, the ministry says it's investigating the early pregnancy statistics to determine if they reflect the real situation on the ground.
The issue of our girls, our children and grandchildren getting pregnant, as if all we are thinking about is about sex. I am going to lobby the Cabinet and by extension His Excellency the President so that they consider changing the law to block information related to pornography from being accessed by all and sundry in this country. I think it is wise and it is proper to call a spade a spade. And also, because you see, when you are not thinking about sex, but somebody opens the pornographic page, then you start thinking about it, and you start generating ideas. By the way, why is that site accessible in Kenya? Who needs it?
And the moral question always is, how do you police what someone is doing in private? Like China went, they blocked all the sites you cannot access. So probably that's how the government is going to do its thing on this. But the moral question always is, how do you police what happened in private? But indeed, he has a point, the Education Cabinet Secretary. Now, the crime rate in Nairobi County has dropped. This is according to the Nairobi Regional Police Commander Philip Ndolo, who pointed this significant decrease to the ongoing curfew. On the other hand, parents have been cautioned to supervise their children following a reported incidents of primary and high school children engaging in petty crimes within the city now that they are not in school. Ndolo stressed that such incidences will not be taken lightly despite the suspects being underage.
Realized during the curfew and since the closure of schools, where we have children who are idle at home, parents are not very keen on what their children are doing. I've noted twice or thrice where we have arrested small children, primary school children, robbing people of mobiles, and they go to sell to others. This is something that we are discouraging. They should know that much as they are very young, crime does not know the age. Seen several officers, not so many, actually it is 0.0% of officers taking the law into their own hands. What I want to say in no uncertain terms is that any officer who takes the law into his hands, misuses his firearm, uses lethal force when it is not required, we will take action. Because every police officer in this service, 100,000 plus, have been told on justifiable instances to use a firearm, and further, they have been taught on human rights and human aspects, humanitarian law.
Well, still on crime, police in Bungoma town have arrested 5 suspects in the murder of a prominent Bungoma businessman, that's Michael Gasheshe Karuga. Now, the 5 suspects are 4 men and 1 woman. They were nabbed at a rental house in Kandunyi Market in the outskirts of Bungoma town on Thursday night.
It is in this rental house in Kandunyi Market on the outskirts of Bungoma town where the 5 murder suspects were holed up. They are suspected of robbing the deceased Michael Gasheshe Karuga of 2 million shillings and later killed him near a Keringet hotel in Bungoma town on June 8, 2020.
Nyumba tumedhani watu wenye wanaishi ndani watu wazuri, kumbe ni majambazi. Na naomba wenye manyumba hapa ya kukodesha, tafadhali kuweka mtu kwa nyumba, ujaribu kujua ya kwamba huyo mtu anatoka wapi na anafanya kitu gani.
Confirming the arrests, Bungoma South OCPD Wilson Nanga stated that his officers have been following up leads that led to their arrests.
During our operation, we also managed to recover a number of things. That is 5 television sets, also a fridge, 3 sofa sets, and has assorted household items.
According to Nanga, one of the suspects is of Ugandan origin, while the rest are Kenyans.
We have the suspects in custody, and we are still investigating to see whether we can go further and get more suspects and recover more things, because we believe this syndicate, this is a syndicate which has been terrorizing members of public in Bungoma town, Kandui, Kibabii and its environs.
Gasheshe, who was the owner of Shell petrol station, also ran several other businesses in Bungoma town. He was buried on Tuesday in his home in Soy, Likuyani constituency in Kakamega County. Nuru Abdul Aziz, NTV.
And there's still more on crime, because 4 women have also been arrested after they were caught on camera shoplifting several items from one of the supermarkets at Bumala Trading Center, that's in Butula in Busia County. The perceived gang had stolen different soaps, sanitizers, cooking oil, tissue papers, among other items, by hiding them in their long dresses.
Tough economic times call for some ingenuity, that and some degree of luck. That was what these 4 ladies were banking on until their luck ran out. The 4 were caught on camera, picking various items from the shelves of the Bismart supermarket in Bumula Trading Center in Butula, Busia County. Their synchronized motion appears like a perfected dance. They seem to know where all the cameras are, but what they did not know was that they were on the security staff's radar after they had gotten away with the crime in several other supermarkets across Western and Nyanza regions.
Wanaingia either wakiwa watu wawili ama watatu, na mmoja wao ni mtu mwenye anaangalia hali ya usalama katika duka. Angalie CCTV iko pande gani, watu wako pande gani, security ya duka iko pande gani, then kuna wale wa kuchukua. Na wale wa kuchukua most of the time wanakuja, unapata kuna nguo ndefu ama rinda, hata sometimes unapata kuna buibui. So wakichukua kama Dettol 3 liters ni kibuyu kubwa. So wakichukua wanainama alafu wanaingisha chini ya skate huko ndani.
Ilipatikana kwamba walikuwa wameiba busia katika supermarket ya Frankmart na ingine ya Ketias na ingine ya Facemart hapa Bumala.
While one may be quick to pity them or mistake them for needy mothers looking to feed their families, their loot tells of their success and utter bravado. Outside was a vehicle that facilitated their escape and transport for the goods.
Sio kitu tu ati ni mtu anajifunza kuiba leo. Sisi tuko na kesi ya 2018. Yeah, the same women. These ones who are here.
Tuliweza kupata kwamba kwangu walikuwa ameiba Biblia, na kwa bahati nzuri ni kwamba tulimchukua tukampeleka polisi, na kwa bahati nzuri pia tukawezeshewa kushika wale ambao pia walikuwa pamoja nao.
They are driving, they are well connected. The moment they are arrested, after 10 minutes simu zimepigwa kama 100 wa station. So this is a gang.
The police are asking for collaboration with the public, which they say will go a long way to rid the society of such criminal elements. The 4 are being held at Bumula Police Station, awaiting arraignment. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Well, away from crime now, as the country continues to battle the coronavirus pandemic, community health volunteers in Kajiado County are facing more challenges on how to deal with other illnesses in the villages. Now, the county recorded 13 new cases yesterday. Patients suffering from illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, tuberculosis, HIV and AIDS are now having a hard time managing their conditions while trying to stay safe from COVID-19. The patients who have underlying conditions and have been relying on the community health volunteers to bring medical periodically and do routine checkups are now fearing for their health.
Wanafikiria umewaletea mask na hauna, wengine wanataka sabuni hauna. Kwa hivyo ni challenge kubwa, kwa sababu mtu wanahitaji, wanafikiria utawaletea pesa. Wengine kazi walifutwa, hawaendi kazi. Wanafikiria pia utawaletea chakula na hatuna mahali kwa kutoa chakula.
Sometimes ukienda kwa household itabidi nisimame nje, kwa sababu hao hawezi kunidhamini, kuniamini, hawajui nimetembea na nani, nimekutana na nani. Pia sai sina ile protective gear ambapo nimejivaa vizuri.
All right, time now for a short break, but we still have a lot, including sports. So stay with us. We'll be back on NTV at 1 shortly.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because her tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate. Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities. Who protects our teeth? Colgate! For maximum cavity protection.
Oya cheki. Kuna vile sasa muziki manze, kuna vile inajipa manze, yani na cheki. Haimaanisha tu tunajibamba, yani very regular.
Kitu ya muhimu kwanza ni kujua hali yako ya status ya HIV.
Kwa hapa hivi tuwapeleke na Rieng, tujue venye manze tutasaidiana sika vijana. Na kama unaogopa kwenda pale hivi kwa clinic, unaweza pitia pale hivi kwa chemist ya mtaa, uitishe a self test kit na wanauza 500 bob only. Unajitestia tu mtaani, unajua hali yako.
Manze na ukiweza patikana nayo, yani uko positive manze, usiogope. Kuna madawa yani jo, kuna counseling manze, unaweza kula fit yani, alafu unaweza piga bado ma exercise kiasi hivi. Na kama nyewe manze ukiweza patikana yani hauna manze, usiasi tu unaenda kutafuta tena.
Cheki. Ukiweza abstain.
Lakini maji yakizidi unga,
wrap it before you tap it.
La bila gloves haiwezi.
Unapoendelea kujikinga kutokana na HIV, tafadhali zingatia taratibu zote za serikali za kujikinga na virusi vya corona.
Afya bora, maisha bora. Jipime, jiinue.
Oh, there's Rush in there. Rush! Goal! Ian Rush!
I'm sure of these players, when they play Everton, when they play Crystal Palace, when they play Manchester City, the next 3 games, they will definitely be up for it because it's been too long since Liverpool won the league.
Origi there, Belgian, yes, but of course with Kenyan roots. Your thoughts on the player?
I think Riki's a fantastic player.
Now, residents of Trans Nzoia County do not have access to public health care following a strike by the health workers. The workers have donned their tools over what they say is a 1-month salary delay and lack of COVID-19 risk allowance. The medics are from various organizations, including the Kenya National Union of Nurses, Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, amongst others. They say the county government has failed to address their concerns.
Tumesikia from all other counties that they have goodwill to pay the COVID allowance. Wameongea na wafanyikazi wao na wanaongojea kulipa, wanaongojea tu IPPD code ya kulipa hiyo allowance. Lakini Trans Nzoia wamenyamazia hiyo allowance ambayo imetoka kwa president.
If money will be not paid by tomorrow, we are going to advise our members also to work from home. Because it is ironical that the people who are on the ground working are not being paid, and those who are working from home are being paid. It does not make sense.
We are tired. It's only, Mr. Governor, you give us our money, we deserve it. It's not just something we beg. We are here as we recommend you give us our right. Money is our right, we have worked. And as the labor organization spells it out, we are supposed to be paid for what we have worked for.
Indeed, they need to be paid for what they have worked for. The Ministry of Labour says it has received more than 300,000 applications for redundancy or unpaid leave to employees from employers due to the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking while on a tour of flower farms in Naivasha, Nakuru County, Labour Cabinet Secretary says plans are underway to cushion the county's workforce through the economic stimulus packages. Now, the horticulture sector has since lost half of its revenue since its grounding or the grounding of international flights, and more than 50,000 employees could be rendered jobless if the crisis continues. At the moment, agreements between the Ministry of Labour, employers and unions have served to keep the employers working even on half salary.
In normal days, we would be enforcing and sometimes even prosecuting employers who don't comply with labor laws, CBAs, but in the current circumstances, we have to embrace dialogue. We have to understand each other and manage the problem. So with those many remarks, government has given so many guidelines. We have also come up with so many stimulus packages. We've seen our president pronounce himself in government position on so many guidelines that would help manage first, control the collapse of the industry, our economy. While we are managing these health challenges, we need to also have a second or a flip side mind on management of our economy.
Now, leaders in Mandera, led by the Governor Ali Roba, Senator Mohamud Mohammed and area members of parliament have declared their support to President Uhuru Kenyatta's partnership with NASA leader Raila Odinga through a declaration made in Mandera town. The leaders have also pledged to spearhead President Kenyatta's development agenda as well as supporting the Building Bridges initiative.
The leadership of Mandera County reaffirm our continued political support to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the extended partnership between the President and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga through the famous handshake. We fully support the Building Bridges initiative. Mandera people benefited from the support we have given to the government by being appointed to various positions in government, starting from Cabinet Secretary, CAS and PS, for which we are very grateful. We are, however, very concerned with the recent de-whipping of the Senate Finance Committee Chair, Senator Mohamed Mahmoud, and the de-whipping of Agriculture Committee Chair of the National Assembly, Honorable Adam Ali Sheikh. We appeal to the President to understand that our expectations are very high in getting consideration and protection for positions given to us, and further appeal to him to consider replacing the two chairpersons that we recently lost with leaders from the county.
Now, a couple from a village in Nyeri County have shocked many by offering to give up their children for adoption to well-wishers as they have failed to fend for their children. Samuel Ndungu and his wife, who do odd jobs, say it has become increasingly difficult to sustain their 2-year and 10-month-old children. NTV's Melita Oletenges with that unfortunate state of affairs.
The walls of this single room in Kiarohio village, Nyeri County, have hidden the tribulations that Samuel Ndungu and his family have gone through for a while now. He lives here with his wife Mary Nyambura and 2 children, but life has not been easy for them.
Nimeshindwa hata kupatia watoto wangu chakula, hata kujinunulia mavazi. So nimeamua mimi kutafuta mtu nimpe watoto wangu wawili free of charge.
Ndongo and his wife have been doing odd jobs to eke out a living, but the little money they get from those jobs hasn't been enough to sustain the family.
Nilifikiria maisha itakuwa mzuri, lakini imenilemea. Kidogo tajiri akijua ya kwamba ati wewe maisha yako vile unaishi anakuchukua kama chombo. Pia wewe ukiwa kama mtu unalemewa na maisha. Mimi nimelemewa.
Baada sasa msaidizi mwingine. Sasa
it is not just the biting effect of the dwindling economy due to the coronavirus pandemic. Ndongo says it has always been a fleeting pursuit of a stable life.
Maisha imekuwa ngumu tangu utoto wangu. Sababu mimi hata saizi nikiacha kazi mahali ninafuatananga na mke wangu nyuma hali tunapatiwa hata mahali pa kulala, sababu sina kwetu penye nasapeleka mke wangu.
Sasa mimi vile nawaona masida wanapitia masida magumu kama kulalia, watoto wapati madisi ya kukula, saa ingine ile unga wamepata ndio wanakula.
Samuel is now calling upon any well-wisher who can take in his 2 children to ease the burden of providing for them.
According to Samuel Ndungu and his wife, fending for their children has reached dire straits. While giving them away may seem like a peculiar thing to do, he says it's the only choice they have. Milita Oletenges, NTV, Nyeri County.
Now, a family in Sioport area, that's in Samia, Busia County, is mourning the death of their 31-year-old Ken, who drowned in Lake Victoria while trying to flee from Ugandan police officers. It is alleged that the deceased, that's Victor Uma, and 3 others were caught fishing in the Ugandan waters. He then fell off the boat which they were using for fishing as they were trying to get away from the authorities who were tailing them. Efforts to recover the body are still underway. On the other hand, family members of the deceased as well as the other fishermen have pointed the finger at the Kenya Maritime or Marine officers, accusing them of laxity as the Kenyan fishermen continue to be harassed. They now want the Kenyan government to act swiftly to ease the tension between the two sides. Now, the chairperson of the Kenya Animal Genetic Resources Center, Dr. Geoffrey Kamau, says the farmers are not making little use of the center despite the fact that it exists and is supposed to help boost their output. The center, whose mandate is to produce, preserve and conserve animal genetic material, is currently producing more material than the market can absorb. Dr. Kamau is urging farmers to interact with the center and take advantage of its resources in order to increase yields from their animals or for their animals. In the recently read budget, the center was allocated 1.2 billion shillings.
Over 1 million straws of semen. So we have enough semen in our storage. We have enough semen in all agents and county governments. We have not reached where we are supposed to reach. We are supposed to have gone up almost, we are about 60% of the demand. But farmers require to come up, embrace technology so that the animal, they get high quality breeds which can be able to produce milk and meat.
Now, the first phase of the Northern Water Collector Tunnel project that's in Murang'a County will be completed before the end of 2020, says Water, Sanitation and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary Cecily Kariuki. It will consist of the construction of a water treatment plant in Kigoro village. The project is aimed at addressing the perennial water shortage that has the capital city faces. A number of residents affected by the project by the virtue of having the tunnel pass through their land are complaining about the inadequate compensation. The Cabinet Secretary is on a tour of the project. Kariuki announced that the National Irrigation Authority is pumping 443 million shillings into the Marishu Murika irrigation scheme, that's in Murang'a County also, as part of the efforts to scale up the smallholder subsistent farming in commercial ventures.
We require 825,000 cubic meters into Nairobi per day. Right now what we have is short of that and stands at about 526,000 cubic meters per day. And therefore this is important that there is no delay, so that we can be able to support the requirements of water and sanitation in Nairobi.
Now, when one loses a spouse, whether young or old, the journey after that is often difficult. One of the tests challenges their tenacity and most of all, ability to step into the shoes of the late partner when it comes to caring for their children. NTV's award-winning reporter Rose Wangoi spoke to several widowed fathers on the psychological effects of losing their partners and how they took extra parental duties. Here's a sneak preview of Dear Dad to air this Sunday, 7 and 9 p.m.
On Father's Day this Sunday, we celebrate widowers who have shown courage and resilience amid their loss.
I'm raising kids in a manner that is acceptable.
Their stories are raw.
I encounter so much as a single father.
Real.
It heals a little bit, but the sky is still there. Because you'd find I would be doing something in the house, and then something would remind me, oh, My late wife would have liked it this way.
And inspiring.
You lose a wife. That's a companion whom you hope you're going to be with forever.
Men will not know how to cope, but I think women can cope with the passing of the husband. They're stronger.
You don't want to miss that. That's this Sunday, 7 and 9 p.m. Let's turn our attention to play now. And the Kenya Volleyball Federation National League clubs have welcomed the cancellation of this year's season by the local body due to the effects of the coronavirus. KVF has suspended the league indefinitely in March. Now, the season, which had served off in February with the Nyeri leg, was to run until July as opposed to November as part of the concerted efforts by the Federation to align its competitions with the international FIV calendar. According to the International Volleyball Federation, federations should start their leagues in October and end in April. The local running body will now await government's directive on resumption of sporting activity as they look to start the 2020-2021 season in October. And Karim Benzema became Real Madrid's fifth all-time leading goal scorer with a double in a victory over Valencia. Thanks for watching and enjoy your Friday and the rest of the afternoon.